What's up, everyone? Tara Roberts here with Fantasy Pros, bringing you my top 10 waiver wire picks for Week 5. Before I get into the list, if you want a chance to win a signed Christian McCaffrey San Francisco 49ers jersey courtesy of bettingpros.com, your place to start betting smarter and not harder, you need to subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now. Comment below on this video and that's it. We'll be announcing the winner right here on the channel, so make sure you turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to claim your prize. Now let's go ahead and dive right in. Number 10, Trey Palmer. Mike Evans suffered a hamstring injury on Sunday, leaving a potential opening as the second look in the Bucs offense. Now, the Bucs are on a bye in Week 5, so this isn't an opportunity to plug a player in this week, but we've seen hamstring injuries take players out for several weeks, and for a 30-year-old receiver, it definitely could be longer than that. Now is a good time to grab Palmer because no one is going to be grabbing him, and it's just going to be a free ad that you can hold for a week and then see what happens with Evans' injury for Week 6. The upcoming schedule isn't fantastic, but Baker Mayfield has been dealing, so it's possible that Palmer could be a viable flex option even through difficult matchups. Palmer was technically outperformed by Devin Tompkins, but Palmer has had the stronger usage prior to this game. Tompkins' production is more than likely an anomaly, and Palmer would have the higher upside moving forward. Number 9, Curtis Samuel. Every single year we find ourselves looking at Curtis Samuel, and we have no one but Ron Rivera to thank and or blame for that. I wish that the targets could be concentrated to Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson, but those wishes are probably not going to come true. Samuel has had a consistently strong snap count, and there are some very juicy matchups ahead over the next month. Chicago, Atlanta, New York Giants, Philadelphia again. Samuel just had 7 receptions on 8 targets, plus 1 rushing touchdown. He is realistically a wide receiver 3 option over this time period, and he is worth a roster. Number 8, Chuba Hubbard. Miles Sanders dealt with a groin injury throughout the week, so that definitely helped push carries towards Chuba Hubbard. Hubbard had 14 carries for 41 yards and 2 receptions for 12 yards. Sanders had 13 carries for 19 yards and 3 receptions for 13 yards. Neither really had a strong fantasy performance, and a split within this Panthers offense doesn't exactly yield viable starts in fantasy. Regardless, we want to roster handcuffs that have a clear path to being the RB1 in their offense if the lead back ahead of them were to go down, and the ones that also have some potential standalone value is an added bonus in deeper leagues. Hubbard's carries were definitely the result of some limitations around Sanders, but Hubbard has been cutting into Sanders' role all season. It's just been typically in terms of receiving work. I think that he will continue down this path, and he is definitely worth a stash. Number 7, Tajae Spears. Today was Derrick Henry's day, but Tajae Spears still had a strong performance with 5 carries for 40 yards and 3 receptions for 18 yards. I know a lot of people want to see Spears in an expanded role, but that's probably not going to happen here. Spears has done very well, but this is still Derrick Henry's offense. That said, Spears is a strong handcuff with standalone value in good matchups. Spears has been on my waiver wire list in the past, and he will stay there as a weekly ad because if you've got the space to add him and keep him on your bench for now, you should just go ahead and do it. Better to get ahead of things before you're dropping all of your fab to grab him if Henry were to suffer an injury. We've got more than enough evidence at this point to safely say that Spears is an instant top 24 back or higher if Henry were to go down. And he's got everything that you want. Strong on the ground and receiving upside, meaning that he would likely have strong upside even in games where the Titans were struggling. Again, we are not plugging Spears into any lineups unless you're in deeper leagues, but he is a fine low-cost ad right now. Number 6, Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson emerged on Sunday with a big performance, catching all 7 of his targets for 76 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wilson was a strong rookie prospect, but landing in Arizona really cut into his fantasy value because Arizona is really playing above expectations. We didn't really see this coming. The entire offense has been strong after their Week 1 performance, which was just days after Joshua Dobbs joined the team. So Wilson hadn't really put out a strong performance prior to this week, but his snap count had been good and he was seeing targets, so he was involved in the offense. And perhaps he could be moving forward into the wide receiver 2 spot above Rondale Moore. I have said it before and I will say it again. We do not ignore big rookie performances. People that had skepticism around Puka Nacua are regretting it right now. Not saying that this is the next Puka Nacua because no one is, but we have to look at Wilson. And while we might not feel comfortable plugging him into our lineups right now, he is an excellent stash to see if this production sticks. Number 5, Tyler Boyd. Cincinnati has major problems. Joe Burrow just doesn't look like himself. This was the get-right game against a porous Tennessee Titans defense, and it just didn't happen. Even Deshaun Watson, who looked shaky all season, had a strong performance against Tennessee. You were supposed to thrive against the Titans' pass defense no matter how much you've been struggling. Instead, Burrow had 165 passing yards. So advocating to pick up a pass catcher in this offense seems counterproductive, but T. Higgins suffered a rib fracture in Sunday's game, and that means that Tyler Boyd will step up as the wide receiver too. Boyd has been very reliable in that plug-in role whenever he's had the opportunity to step in as the wide receiver 2 throughout his career. Even though Burrow is struggling, Boyd is a good pickup if Higgins is going to miss multiple weeks. Boyd had 7 targets on Sunday and should continue to see targets in Higgins' absence. Number 4, Jalil McLaughlin. Proceed with caution on this because the Broncos team is awful. But that said, Jalil McLaughlin could legitimately be the RB1 in this offense if Jameson Williams is out next week. Williams' injury is reportedly one that will not be long-term, but we've heard that song and dance before with many running backs. Regardless, McLaughlin already established a role within this offense as a goal line back. For fantasy managers of Jameson Williams or Samaje Perine, it was incredibly frustrating. But for those of you who are looking to add McLaughlin this week, it should give you the added security that his production in week 4 isn't an anomaly. He already established trust with Sean Payton, so he could leapfrog Samaje Perine. At the very least, I think it establishes McLaughlin is more of the direct handcuff for Williams. McLaughlin had 7 carries for 72 yards and 3 receptions for 32 yards and 1 touchdown, while Perine had just 6 carries for 12 yards and 2 receptions for 23 yards. McLaughlin's performance was far better than any other Broncos running back this season, and that alone makes him worth an add despite the upcoming schedule being horrendous with the Jets and Chiefs up next. But he could technically be a lead back, and a lead back is a lead back. And McLaughlin appears to have some receiving upside, so he's worth an add. Ranking spot and fab depends on the severity of the injury. Number 3, CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is the real deal. He was number 3 on my waiver wire last week, and now he is again. I hope you grabbed him because this is last call, as he is just barely below 50% rostered in Yahoo leagues and 30% rostered in ESPN leagues. Aside from that first game where he was shaking off that rookie dust, he's had a minimum of 280 yards and 2 touchdowns in every single game. Yes, these have been softer matchups, but the stats are the stats, and I don't care who it's against. Stroud has been wildly impressive. He's done it through volume, he's done it through efficiency. It's not like this is the result of dink and dunk football. His deep ball has been excellent. Stroud is breaking that Ohio State rookie quarterback curse and thriving. And he's a must roster with weekly top 12 upside. He's a pocket passer, so it's difficult for him to hit those top 5 numbers on a weekly basis, but of the more traditional pocket passers this year, Stroud is performing at the top. He's not just a streaming option anymore. Number 2, Jameson Williams. I can admit, I'm a bit skeptical of Jameson Williams' return. He missed the majority of his rookie season recovering from his torn ACL. When he returned, he had incredibly low usage. The most targets that he saw in a game was 3 on just a 25% snap count. His only production came with 1 catch, but because that catch was a 41-yard touchdown, the legend of Jameson Williams lived on. We were pumped for his potential at full health in year 2 because the Lions have been one of the most potent offenses in the NFL. And the wide receiver 2 in their offense can be very valuable. but Williams was suspended for 6 games, a big blow to his fantasy value. On top of that, he suffered a hamstring injury during training camp, so he yet again missed valuable time needed to prepare for the season. Typically, we would try to add a player like Williams a couple of weeks before his suspension was up. But the NFL updated their gambling policy and reduced the suspension time for Williams, and he could literally be back this week. Now, I highly advise against starting him this week, but the pure upside makes him a must-add, and you have to do it now. Number 1, Romeo Dobbs. I was kind of shocked and confused when I saw this. Romeo Dobbs is only 34% rostered in ESPN leagues. He's 53% rostered in Yahoo leagues, but still, that is way too small. Dobbs has had 3 18 fantasy point performances. Maybe it's skepticism around Jordan Love, but Love was on my waiver wire list last week because from a fantasy perspective, he is producing as a QB1, and Romeo Dobbs has been his primary target. Love is spreading the ball around, and Christian Watson missed the first 3 games and was limited last week. His production cannot be dismissed. If Dobbs is available in your league, you absolutely have to add him. Thanks for watching this video. And remember, if you want a chance to win a signed Christian McCaffrey San Francisco 49ers jersey courtesy of bettingpros.com, your place to start betting smarter and not harder, you need to subscribe to the FantasyPros YouTube channel right now. Comment below on this video and that's it. We'll be announcing the winner right here on the channel, so make sure you turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to claim your prize.